Good morning, pregame crew. How are ya? Good morning. Hi. It is Thursday, April 27th, 2023. It is 6:22 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to the pregame show. This is a show where I go over indices, commodities, crypto movers and shakers of the day. So let's do an audio visual check. Perfect, Night Truck. Thank you. I'm going to say hello to my friends, do a few chart requests, and we'll officially get started in 8 minutes. Good morning, Greg and Night Truck, Bob, Renaissance, Topher. Hi, Casey. Hey, Nugget, Keith, Card Lady. Hi, Danny, RJ, Patrick, Mary, Shake and Bake, Mal. Hey, Whitney. Hey, Sandor. Yeah, here I am, Rob. Hey, B-Hawk. It's so fun. You tell yourself, don't touch your face, don't touch your hair, don't touch your whatever. And it's like, that's all you want to do. When you're on camera, it's like, don't do that. That's all I think about. Hi, Michael in Switzerland. Big love back to you, Matt. Sure, Casey. The yellow 50 MA is coming into play right here on this ES bounce. That's what the yellow finger is pointing to. So let me go back up to the top. All right, AMD. So AMD is over those key EMAs and we're over the high of yesterday in pre-market. Looks like we're coming back into it. So any gap up, let's use AMD as an example right here. So this was the high of yesterday, 87.35. Okay, if bears are able to take price back into yesterday's range, so the goal is to gap up. And then once you gap up, if the bears bring it into yesterday's range and keep it there, that's bearish. If we just dip our toes in it and then pop back out, that's bullish. So keep that in mind. 86.02 support, then 85.50. Rob, you're funny. I have a lot more bad hair days than good hair days. There's a webinar today, so I had to get my act together and wash my hair last night. So I hope I will see most of you or all of you at the webinar. Hey, George, good morning. Hey, Audrey, Sid. Capitalist, I have it on my face right now. I have e.l.f. brush, I have e.l.f. blush, I have e.l.f. makeup. They have great ingredients for the most part, and they are very reasonably priced. That's why e.l.f. is so beautiful. So let me back up on AMD. We are below all key moving averages. We're at the weekly 8 EMA. We're looking for that weekly higher low. We got 4-hour oversold 2 days ago, and we're bouncing. The weekly higher low may be set. Let's confirm this uptrend during regular trading hours, i.e. get over the high of yesterday, and that would be bullish, Casey. Aw, Audrey, I'm so sorry. Maybe join the webinar tonight, Audrey, on how to define your edge. My guess is that you don't have a clearly defined edge. That's my guess. So the webinar's at 5 p.m. Eastern. I think it's going to be pretty good. It's not going to be super long, but there will be time to ask questions. I think I have some good examples of charts. I think I have 8 charts queued up and ready to go and about 25 slides. So it's at 5 p.m. Eastern, but that's okay if you can't make it live. We will send you a link to the recording of the webinar. All you need to do is sign up here at this link, and you'll also get a PDF copy of my notes from the webinar as well. Hey, Ed, good morning. Trading is very, very difficult, Audrey. So the majority of traders do not make it. And the majority of traders don't make it because they don't have a clearly defined edge and they don't use stop losses. You must have proper risk management. Awesome, Mary. Christina, I would say, in addition to JPM, what other stock respects technicals? I think someone asked me about Bank of America yesterday. I would say so. XLF in general. That was just beautiful. I would say XLF in general respects technicals, and we're coming up here on, we double bottom with this support on the daily chart, 3207. We hit 3212 yesterday. I'm looking for XLF bounce today. So, and maybe Caterpillar, they had earnings this morning, but I know it's pretty technical. 215.49, and yesterday we hit 216.12. I would say maybe Caterpillar and those industrial stocks and the bank stocks. Swinging, Aviator. Yes, swinging it's been a tough environment. Oh, thank you, Capitalist. Top of the morning to you. Okay, ELF is one of my examples actually for the webinar. That's why it's already got this 23%. So right here, I posted in chat on April 5th that, let's go back and look at it, that RSI was getting oversold on the hourly right here. We got our first oversold on the hourly and a very, very uptrending strong name. Look at this name. And we bounced 23% from that first hourly oversold, scouting that daily higher low. I swear I can say hourly a million times until I need to say it at 6:30 in the morning, and then I can't say it. Need more coffee. Potential daily bull flag. This chart's beautiful. I think next hourly oversold could also represent a decent opportunity to bottom fish as well. So if you're not familiar with ELF products, they have very affordable products in the drugstore and Target and Walmart, and they just have killer cash balance. Just a really good company. Oh, Tyree, that's good to hear. Hey, Guile. Okay, Audrey, maybe you need to pump the brakes and take a break. I think the rule of thumb is takes 10,000 hours to become proficient at something. And I would say that's year 6, year 7 in trading to become proficient. It's a very, very difficult occupation. And it's very difficult if you don't have the conscientiousness to manage your risk. And it's kind of interesting. I'm doing the DISC profile tonight on the webinar about your personality profile: dominant, influential, steady, conscientious. And if you don't have any C to pull up, that's what they call that conscientiousness, clarity, attention to detail, it can be a problem. If you don't have the self-control, trading can be an issue for you. Yeah, it is beautiful, isn't it, Aviator? I have to have this light on over here or it's really dark in my office, which I like it for my eyes, but it's making me kind of squinch my eyes a little bit. All right, y'all ready to get started? Hey, Mona, I do this live on YouTube, and I also do it live on TradingView. Thank you for being here. All right, let's look at ES and let's get started. Let's get this show on the road. I really just wanted to show my face to show my face when I look at the nat gas chart. God, I'm so dramatic. Okay. All right. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter, that'd be lovely, at Chart Gal Lori. You can check us out at chartguys.com. What we do is we teach technical analysis. And what I do here every morning is I have a little bit of fun. And then I have notes that are off screen. I copy and paste these notes for TCG members only when I am done. Perfect. Let me give you the code, Mona. Mona wants to go over to YouTube. There's the code. All right, so what I do here every morning is have fun with my friends, and then we look at this market environment dossier table together. And this table is just an objective way for me to bring all my thoughts together and convey to you what I'm seeing. We have a little bit more bullish than bearish with the meta beat, and they got it up. So that was good news yesterday, and it's lifting the market a little bit. But I have highlighted in blue the things that just aren't adding up. Well, I guess that I should have reset that and reset that. These three, XLE, XLF, and XLV, I would say those three are really lagging this morning. And can QQQ carry the market by itself today? Sure it can. It's going to be difficult, and that means that it cannot have any break, no rest for the weary. It must run. So we have GDP. We just had GDP data, and where did my chart go? We are pulling back on GDP data and initial jobless claims. My bad that I didn't announce that ahead of time. So GDP was 1.1%. The forecast was 2%. Initial jobless claims, 230,000. Forecast was 248,000. We're having a slight bearish reaction to GDP and initial jobless claims. Thank you, Aviator, for posting that. To become proficient, Simeon, I would say 7 years is what it takes to become proficient. I am on my 7th year. I put in thousands and thousands of hours at the beginning. I would get up at 2 a.m. and I would trade till 8 a.m. and study. I'd go to work and I'd come home and study some more. So at the detriment to my family, which isn't always a good decision, but I was pretty committed and never really failed at anything as far as work. And the failing aspect had kept me engaged and working even harder. So I think that's the short answer. Okay. So our table is overall looking more bullish than bearish. QQQ cannot take a rest today. XLE, XLF, and XLV are looking kind of laggard. Let's look at those. When you look at it, our hourly EMAs are overhead on XLE, XLV, hourly overhead, and XLF. Now, can XLF bounce from here? I think it can. We are looking for that weekly higher low and that daily higher low compared to 3207, and we double bottom there. So I think this could be a good area to bounce, and JPM will be a long idea for me today. Hey, Jimbo. All right, I have my keyboard slid underneath my desk, though. That's why I do know how to type without looking, but I'm still not used to it being on this shelf. So it's kind of dark where my keyboard is, and I have to make sure my hands are situated correctly. Yeah, Rob, it's so dependent on the person themselves and how much screen time they get during those 4 years. 4 years, 7 years. If you're getting mega screen time, you could definitely be proficient in 4 years. Yeah, if you could hit that like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. There's 217 of you and only 74 likes. So let's go back to indices. We're pulling back a little more from that GDP and initial jobless claims. And I had this little finger here for a reason. The 50 MA is overhead, which I like to affectionately call the Great Wall of Louisiana. Typically, when that's tested for the first time and from this dump, this is our first test, you reject. Typically. We have enough room for hourly higher low compared to 40, 80, 75. NASDAQ is stronger. Look, we're above those key moving averages. However, we're developing a large upper wick of profit taking here on this GDP reaction. You have support at 12971 and 12936. Again, NASDAQ is pulling back pretty hard, but they're not allowed to take a break. If they take a break, the market will most likely be bearish today. We do have Amazon earnings after hours, and we have a more important number tomorrow, and that is PCE. So we have PCE data tomorrow. We have Amazon earnings after hours tonight, and we have FOMC reaction next week, interest rate decision, and we have Apple earnings next week. Lots of fun. Okay, so RTY is weak, much weaker than the rest. Look how far we are from the 50 MA there. And let's back up. Weekly downtrend, daily downtrend, 4-hour downtrend. And look at that. That is a bear flag that you could put in a textbook. Potential bear flag on RTY right there on the 4-hour. Very, very weak. If you're looking for a name to short, I would say IWM would fit the bill. YM is strong. YM has made enough room for a 4-hour higher low. We had Caterpillar earnings with a big beat this morning. We are trapped below the daily EMAs. We are trapped below the hourly 50 MA. Again, had a great bounce on Caterpillar news. It's giving back a little bit more here on the GDP reaction. Hasn't lost a 15-minute uptrend yet. Okay. VIX is red this morning. US 10-year is popping. Dollar is popping on that GDP news. So 4-hour trend change. on the dollar, new support 101.283. That should be a headwind for gold. And gold is pulling back. You have your next 4 hours support at 1993.70. Mal. Yeah, Caterpillar's beautiful. I will try to look at it in just a second. So gold is pulling back. We've lost the support. Next support 1993, and you have a double top at 2012 and 2013. Let's look at CAT. CAT with a big old beat. They pulled back a little bit. They're bouncing. They need to get through yesterday's high, 220.39, support 211.90. From the earnings that I saw, I mean, I don't know if they guided down. I didn't see guidance, and guidance is more important than earnings, but that was a pretty big beat. I would expect a bigger bounce than this on those earnings. Okay, let's go back to commodities, and then we'll do Bitcoin. So oil is weak. We had inventory yesterday, and guess what? We filled the gap. 75.72, that was that gap fill we were looking for. And we had Bennett with the clutch call yesterday. And commodities right here at 8:25 yesterday my time. And that was right. Come on. That was right here, 8:25, at this very spot right here at 75.64. I took a long there at that double bottom, and it bounced up to 77.22, scalped $1 out of that, and then it promptly gave it all back on inventory. So now odds favor a weekly higher low. We typically look for a weekly higher low when 4 hour is oversold. 4 hour got oversold back here and it did not put in the low. We're oversold again. So will it take 12 hour oversold to put in that low? We just grazed it. We'll see what happens with oil today. I would be interested in a bottom fish compared to 74.23. Nat gas is a disaster. We got a double bottom at 2275, and I talked to you yesterday about the weekly inside bar. We talked about this inside bar on the weekly and how it's giving misdirection on shorter term time frames, and we talked about how volume and liquidity dries up in tightening ranges. Do you see that? How beautiful that was? Yesterday we had elevated bear volume, but we still have a double bottom. So bears were trying to bring it to break through 227 and they were unable to break it. I may have typed something wrong. No, that was right. My exact words on nat gas this morning: this chart is a disaster. Lots of misdirection on shorter term time frame with that weekly inside bar on the higher time frame. Daily EQ 227 remains the area to try a bottom fish if you so desire. Blech. Bitcoin is having a very nice bounce. They had some bearish news yesterday that came in. Something bearish came in, y'all. I'm not going to pretend like I know. I kind of read it briefly, but something triggered some type of big sell on Bitcoin, and it just brought it crashing down. It has since made a very nice recovery. When you look at the high of yesterday to the low of that move, we have bounced 70% of that. So we have plenty of room for higher lows on the 4 hour. Here, lower high. Now, where does that 4 hour higher low get put in? We need a convincing 15-minute trend change in order to feel confident that that higher low is in. And Bitcoin is getting a little bearish here on that GDP reaction as well. No, I haven't, Night Truck. That's a good question. Okay. So we did Bitcoin, it's weak. We did commodities. We did the big four indices. Okay, now let's look at Apple, and let me pull up my notes. So on Apple, we're near the high of day yesterday. We're recovering a little bit of this. This morning, it was weaker than most. So when you see my notes in the chat room, TCG members, you're going to see that it was weaker than most in my notes, but it has recovered well since I typed that. So you have support here at 163.31 and the high of yesterday, 165.28. For now, we're opening up inside yesterday's range. Amazon stronger than most, earnings after hours. So we had Meta beat, Google beat, and Google beat with a $70 billion buyback. We had Meta beat. So people are buying up Amazon thinking, if those three beat, maybe Amazon will beat. So we'll see what happens. Earnings after hours, which means options are almost untradeable if you're trying to buy to open because of the earnings premium being juiced. Key support 104.86. We are gapping up. Now, when we gap up, let's go over gap rules. 106.62 is the high of yesterday. As of now, we are gapping up. If we maintain that gap and at open, we dip back into 106.62. Let me set an alert there. Bulls are going to want to watch. They're going to want to watch. Yeah, that's some great grammar. How long do we stay down inside yesterday's range? If they're able to fill the gap, we want to dip back out of it real quickly. If bears are unable to fill that gap from yesterday, that's a gap and go scenario, and that is bullish. Oh, you know what? I want to go back to QQQ. We had a clear double top. So Tuesday's high was 314.97. Yesterday's high, 314.94. Clear double top. We're opening up inside yesterday's range. Bulls are going to want to take out 314.97. Let's just say 315 for simplicity's sake. They're going to want to take it out pretty quickly in order to get going and take advantage of this meta strength. Let's go back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA is stronger than most. It's all about 273.66. Need to take that out and quickly. We're above these hourly EMAs. 15-minute EMAs are testing these, 15-minute price is testing this support. You have a support down at 268.53, yesterday's high 273.30, and then that other high 273.66 become important. But this is bouncing real nicely. In order to take out that daily lower high, we need to take out 273.30, 273.66. Drank that water too fast. I got this new cup and it has a spout in it, so it just pours down your throat. I'm able to drink a lot of water, but while I'm talking, it's not the smartest thing that I do. Okay, Tesla is weak. There was some news that Dan posted and I copied it. Tesla must face deposition over statements regarding the safety and capabilities of autopilot feature. So Tesla is still weak. We're in the gap fill area. You have a gap down here at 146.41 that could act as a magnet. And I want to know if that gap fills, and we have more gaps below that. We've lost the weekly uptrend. We are looking for a monthly higher low, and daily is oversold. So y'all think about that. We're looking for a monthly higher low, and daily is oversold. If we could get that gap fill of 146.41, I would take a long with Tesla. Simeon, QQQ is a great way to trade tech earnings if you want to trade options. I don't like to gamble on earnings in general, but if you wanted to trade earnings, QQQ is typically, well, it used to be cheaper. It may not now that with all these splits, but the premiums aren't as juiced. So Tesla, if we break 150 and bounce, that could be a good area, dip buy area, and then 146.41 is definitely a good dip buy area. AI. I got an interesting setup for y'all today. Look at the weekly 50 MA. We're sitting on it. We're sitting on the weekly 50 MA. We are looking for a monthly higher low. Big pullback, but a monthly higher low is still the more likely scenario. And daily, we're sitting on the 200 MA. So weekly, we're sitting on the 50 MA. Daily, we're sitting on the 200 MA. And look at this EQ on the hourly chart. I like a dip buy against 1754. We got to get over this 50 RSI, but this is my Queen of the Mountain trade, and I already have it pulled up right here. You see that? I like a long on AI. That's the way I'm going to play it. We are below the Great Wall of Louisiana. I know that's going to be an issue. If we're able to take out $18, then we're looking up at $18.25. I like AI, looking for a long, attempting to nail the monthly high or low at these two key weekly and daily supports. You're welcome, Longroo. Okay, so AI, I like long. Coin, I like short. Looking for the hourly and 4-hour lower high. I like coin short. I'm already in a short against 56.54. And your other area you could use to top fish is 55.50. I like coin short. Coin has been weak. We're below all key daily EMAs. JPM, I like long, if you can believe that. We're at the daily 50 MA. We have entered the gap fill area. So that is something to note. We have entered the gap fill area. And y'all know I like to say it trades real technical. Look at this. 134.90 was the last remaining support yesterday. I posted in chat right here. Let me find it. Here it is. So yesterday morning, 8:49 my time, JPM weekly higher low, the more likely scenario. 4-hour approaching oversold. Bulls need to turn this ship around in this area. 134.90 last remaining support. I want y'all to look at that bounce. So I posted that at 8:49 a.m. right here, literally right there. You got $1.50 out of it. I mean, it was beautiful. It ran into the 50 MA and it was unable to get over and it pulled back. But that's just another example of how JPM is super, super technical. Okay, so going back to my setup, we're at the daily 50 MA. We are in gap fill territory. So 129.04 could serve as a magnet. I'm looking for a pullback buy against 134. XLF, I'm looking for a pullback buy against 32.12. Daily support, 32.07. We double bottom with it yesterday. I'm looking for XLF to bounce and help QQQ today with any type of bounce that it could get going. Hey, Duke. Hello, hello. Thank you, AI. That's very nice of you. Let's go over Crocs. Whoa, they had earnings and people don't like their shoes anymore or what? That's a beautiful daily chart. Beautiful. 4-hour, these bears are doing some destruction here, so it's going to be a difficult dip buy. You're oversold on the 4-hour, looking for a daily high or low. It could be a good dip buy today, but man, it's going to be so tricky. I'm not going to mess with that one. I'm not going to deal with it. Okay, that was Crocs. XLY, you're looking for a bounce. XLY will be greatly influenced by Amazon earnings. We are at the daily 50 MA. We're actually losing it. Support 14338 and 14340. Okay, you got a nice double bottom there. But man, Tesla is doing it no favors. Tesla is really weighing on consumer discretionary here. Tesla needs to bounce, in my opinion, for XLY to bounce. Okay, Guile, thank you for that. Thank you, Casey. All right, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. Y'all join me this evening for the webinar. The link is right here pinned at the top of YouTube chat. It's a free webinar. You can register. You don't have to be there live. We'll send you a copy of the recording after I'm done with the webinar. We have a few hundred people that have already signed up. How to create your edge in the market. I'm going to go over your personality and what are some possible edges that you could use and how to suit your edge to your personality. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope I see each and every one of you there. And you'll also receive a free PDF resource to help guide you after the webinar. So all you have to do is sign up. Again, that link is in chat. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter at CharkowLori, that is always welcome. And I appreciate you being here. Thank y'all. Use stop losses.